Luciano Zaccara. He joins me now from Doha, Associate Professor of Gulf Studies Centre at Qatar University. Luciano, thank you very much indeed for your time. So plenty of optimism in some quarters that this could be done, perhaps in fact before the US elections. But given the complexity of the situation and the actors involved, is that optimistic? Too optimistic?
Well, we can say that there is more optimism in this ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel than in the other one in Gaza. And there are several factors that shows that there are some optimism. First of all, it was already mentioned that there is some predisposition from Hezbollah to have a ceasefire with certain conditions that they are acceptable to them. Also, that in Israel there is a big opposition towards a continuation of the war in Lebanon, considering what the problems have been in 2006 and how complicated it would be to continue the war in comparison with Gaza, that is not creating big problems to Israel. And third, that Biden administration seems to be much more worried about leaving two wars open than leaving only one, Gaza, that so far they failed to succeed. So the fact that the US is pressuring more because they are more worried about the expansion of this conflict than leaving these two wars open, I think this is also the other factor that can help us to be a little bit more optimistic.
Yeah, Israel was criticised, particularly when it came to the ceasefire negotiations in Gaza, which remain, one would assume, ongoing. The criticism was that they used delaying and distracting tactics and that they were not acting in good faith, but rather just buying more time. Do you fear that that may be the case with Lebanon as well?
It could be, certainly. I mean, it is clear since the very beginning of the war that Netanyahu was pushing the resolution of the Gaza war until the election in the United States, and we're already there. So I assume that as far as we are getting closer to the election and to the result, considering that might be possible that Trump is the next one, but considering also that neither Kamala Harris, I think, will make some big changes in the U.S. policy, but at least they are abandoning the period of Biden, who more or less issued some threats against Netanyahu and Israel that the Israelis were not very happy about that. So yes, distraction, trying to gain time in both conflicts is very clear for me since the very beginning.
And how significant is it that Hezbollah is no longer linking a ceasefire in Lebanon with a ceasefire in Gaza as well? Previously, that was one of their preconditions.
Well, I mean, it's showing on one side that there are a lot of problems inside Lebanon that they need to pay attention to. I mean, there is a lot of opposition from other people not belonging to Hezbollah for this war that is expanding or taking all the Lebanese territory. And this is making some people to say, okay, this is a war against Hezbollah, why we are suffering ourselves. But on the other hand, it's a very negative, I would say, news for Gaza people, that they see that the only one really group that was supporting the effort of war of Gaza more or less would disappear from this battle, facing their own problems and paying attention to their own problems than to the war that at the end of the day originated this confrontation.
Luciano, we appreciate you coming on the News Hour as always. Luciano Zaccara there from Qatar University.